Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this throw pillow or this couch pillow right here. Looks the same on both sides. And it's sewed up all around the edges there. So let me set my camera down and I'll show you the things that you need. Okay, for this project, you are going to need a pillow insert. Now, I got mine at Walmart, and the size that you need to be 16 by 16. That's the size for the pattern that I'm doing. They're really relatively cheap. I got a 2-pack at Walmart for like $6. I think they sell them in the 1-pack for half that price too. But 16 by 16 is what I use. Now, you're more than welcome to make the pattern bigger and get a bigger size pillow. But if you want to follow me, this one's 16 by 16. And these are located in the, back by the yarn and sewing stuff, fabric stuff. You'll see these there. Otherwise, I do believe they have them on Amazon and stuff like that. But you're going to need that. And then for the yarn, I used Red Heart Super Saver, which is 100% medium 4-ply acrylic. You don't have to use this brand. Any type of 4-ply yarn will work. I think I used 3 colors. Don't necessarily have to use 3 colors. I do think it looks really good with 3 colors. But I just, whatever colors you want to use, I guess. There are 364 yards per skein. And I probably used, I'm going to guess, 175 out of each 3 skeins, maybe 200. So to kind of be safe, I would say 600, 550, maybe 600 yards total. But I used the color coffee, and I used the color cafe latte, which you do need a little bit extra of this because I did sew it together and do edging with this. So cafe latte, or whatever color you're using. If you're using 3, you're going to need a little bit more of another one. And this one is called Buff. I don't have a tag for it, but that's the colors that I use. It's a size J, which is a 6.5 millimeter crochet stitch. Now this is made with it's an old-fashioned stitch. It's called the Harlequin stitch. It's really similar to the Catherine wheel, but it is not the Catherine wheel. You can see that it is more square, as the Catherine wheel tends to be more round. Other than that, that's pretty much the only difference in it. It looks really similar. Now, this is not a beginner-friendly tutorial. I would consider it more of a upper intermediate to advanced tutorial. So, not beginner-friendly. I mean, if you're a beginner, you're welcome to try it. Hopefully, my teachings can show you how to do it, but I'm just going to say that it's probably not beginner friendly. You need to be more intermediate to advanced. Not only just for the stitch, but also for, I'll tell you the hardest part of this was getting the correct number of stitches when you edge it. And we'll go over that later, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started on it. But I do want to ask you not to forget to, if you haven't already, maybe if you could subscribe to my channel. That way you'll get updates every time I put on a new video. If you go to the subscribe button on my main channel page, or click the button down on this video, there should be a little bell that pops up. If you pop that bell, you'll never miss a video. You'll get notified via email. And also, if you like this video, and you make it turns out okay, and you're able to follow along, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like and maybe a share on Pinterest or Facebook. That'd be awesome. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, you want to start off with a chain of 58. Now, if you want to make this bigger or larger, this stitch is done in a multiple of 8 plus 2. But for mine, you want to start out with a chain of 58. And then what we're going to do is put 1 single crochet in the second stitch on the hook. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch for the length of the chain. Just like that. So one single all the way to the end of your chain. Okay, when you make it to the end of row 1, you should have a total of 57 stitches now. So now we're going to start row 2. And what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn our work. And now we're going to put one single crochet right there back into that very first stitch. One single crochet. And now we're going to skip 3 stitches. So skip, skip, skip. And we're going to be working in the 4th one right here. So skip 3, and in the 4th one we're going to work 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to do a chain of 1, and we're going to go in the same stitch and work 3 more double crochets. The same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Now what we're going to do is skip 3 stitches again. So kind of pull that back and make sure you're skipping this one right here, because sometimes it gets lost and you got to make sure you get that one. So skip 3. 1, 2, 3. In the 4th one we're going to do a single crochet. So that's kind of what we're going to repeat this whole for row 2. We're going to skip 3 again. Skip, 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 and in the 4th one we're going to do our 3 doubles. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to chain 1 and go back into the exact same stitch and work 3 more doubles. There's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're going to skip 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th one, single crochet. Again, skip 3. 1, 2, 3. In the 4th one, 3 doubles. A chain of 1 and 3 more doubles, all into that same stitch. And we're just going to repeat that. Skip 3 again, skip, 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 4th one, single. Skip 3 again, and then do your 3 doubles, chain 1 and 3 doubles. So we're going to repeat that until we get to the end of row 2. Okay, I'm coming to the end of row 2, and I just did this last little shell here. I guess that's what we'll call them, shells. And I have 4 stitches that remain. So I want to skip 3 of them, and in the 4th one I want a single crochet. And now I'm going to switch colors. Now I tie off every single time I switch colors. If you switch colors a different way, you do it however you switch colors. But that's the way I've always done it. So I always tie off. Just like that. So now you should have 7 of these little shells now at the end of row 2. So now I'm going to start my next color for row 3. Now row 3 starts the repeat. Rows 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's a 4-row repeat. It's a repeat for this pattern. So now's when the repeat's going to start. So for row 3, I'm just going to go ahead and start my yarn right there in that single crochet where I left off. Or if you just tied your yarn in there, that's fine. And we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. Okay, for row 3, I'm going to go ahead and do a double crochet right back into that same stitch. Just like that. Now I'm going to do a double crochet 3 together over these first 3 stitches. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go into that first stitch and drop a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Then I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Then I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. I'll have 4 loops that remain. I'm going to yarn over and go through all 4 loops. Now what I'm going to do is work a chain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here to these loops, and now I'm going to double crochet 6 together, or to these double crochets here, these 3 here and these 3 here. So I'm going to yarn over with that chain on my hook and go into the first double crochet and drop a loop and yarn over and go through those first 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and go into the next double crochet, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to skip that single crochet there, and I'm going to start over here in these 3 double crochets. So I'm going to yarn over and go into that first double crochet over here, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on my hook, go up to the next one, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, and the last one up here. Go in, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, and now you're going to have 7 loops that remain on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 7 loops, pull it kind of tight, and now we're going to work a chain of 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now that's kind of the repeat for row 3. So we're going to do a double crochet 6 together over these 3 double crochets, skipping that chain 1, and then these 3 double crochets. So I'll go ahead and do it again. So we're going to yarn over with that chain on our hook and go into, we're not doing anything in this chain 1 right now. We're going right here to this next double crochet, go into it, drop a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. The next one, yarn over, go into it, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops. The next one, yarn over, go into it, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops. Skip that double crochet, or that single crochet right there, and we'll work in these 3 double crochets. So yarn over and go into that next double crochet, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, go into the next one, drop a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops, and yarn over and go into that last one, drop a loop, yarn over and go through 2 loops. 7 loops remain on your hook, yarn over, go through all 7 loops, pull it kind of tight, and do a chain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to repeat this to the end of the row. I'll go ahead and do it one more time. Remember, we're not working in this chain 1 here. We're working in these 3 doubles and these 3 doubles. So we'll go ahead and yarn over, go into the first double, go through the first 2, the next one, first 2, and then the next one, first 2, not doing anything in that chain 1, jumping right over here to the next double crochet, go through the first 2, next one, yarn over, go through the first 2, and that last one, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over and go through all 7 loops, pull it kind of tight, work your chain of 7. So I'm going to repeat that pattern, that's what it's starting to look like, until I get to the end of row 3. Okay, I've made it to the end of row 3, and I did my double crochet 6 together here, and I chained 7. And now I want to do over these last 3 double crochets here, a double crochet 3 together, just kind of like we did on the beginning, to match the beginning here. So just going to yarn over, do the same thing we've been doing, only we're just doing it over the 3 stitches. Four loops remain, yarn over and go through all 4. And now we're going to go ahead and put a double crochet into the top of this single crochet. And that will end row 3. And you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 6 of the 6 of these where you double crochet 6 together, and then 2 of these half ones on the end. So we're not going to change colors, and we're going to start row 4. And we're going to start by chaining 1 and turning our work. Now what we're going to do is double crochet right back into this very first stitch. So this is row 4 we're working on right now. Like that. And now right here into the top of this double crochet 3 together, this little spot right here, we're going to work 3 double crochets into it. So yarn over here and go right into that spot and work 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now we got this big long chain. You see this chain 1 down here from the previous row 3? We're gonna single crochet into it. So we're gonna go right into it, and then from behind the chain, put the chain up next to it like that big chain 7, grab your yarn and pull it up and single crochet, and that'll hold that chain 7 in place just like that. Okay, and now right here in this double crochet 6 together, this next stitch here, this little spot right here, we're going to work, go right into it, and we're going to work 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to chain 1 and go back in and work 3 more double crochets. Just like that. And now that's going to be the repeat now until we get to the end of the row. So what we're going to do is single crochet right down here in this chain 1 space from the previous row 3. So I always just hold my chain close, go all the way down into that chain 1 space, grab my yarn, and then pull it up a little bit and single crochet. Now you have locked that chain 7 into place. Okay, and then we're going to jump over here to this double crochet 6 together, and right there into the top of it we're going to put 3 doubles, and then a chain 1, and then 3 more doubles, all into that same spot. Just like that. And you can see it's starting to make little wheels. Okay, again we're going to put a single crochet down here in this chain 1 space of the previous row, locking this chain down. So go right into that chain 1 space, make sure your chain 7 is on your hook too, go right through it and single crochet, and we lock that down. Now we're just going to keep repeating that. We're going to jump over here to this next where we double crochet these 6 together right here in this spot. We're going to do our 3 doubles, chain 1, and 3 more doubles, all into the same spot. And then we're here again where we need a single crochet down and lock this chain. So single crochet down in this chain 1 space, lock that chain there, just like that. And then we're going to repeat. So that's what it starts to look like. So we're just gonna keep repeating this pattern until we get to the end of row 4. Okay, now I'm coming to the end of row 4. And I did my single crochet here, and I held that chain, locked that chain 7 down. Now I'm at the end, and I want to make this end match this end. So all I'm going to do is find the space right there of the 3 single crochets together. So it's right there, and I'm going to put 3 double crochets in that space because that's what we did on the other at the end. And then I'm going to end this round 4 by double crocheting into the top of this double crochet here right on the end. And that is going to end row 4. And I'm going to tie off at the end of row 4 and switch colors. You don't have to tie off if you switch colors a different way. But now what you have, this is what it starts to look like. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whole circles, and then 2 halves, 1 on each end. Okay? So now we're going to start row 5, and I'm going to bring in my last color, which is my darkest color, and I hope that you're going to be able to see it. Okay, I'm going to start my yarn right here in the same stitch that I left off in. And I am going to chain 1. And then I'm going to turn my work. Okay? Now I'm going to go right back into the same stitch and single crochet. Remember, we're on row 5 now, like that. Now I'm going to work a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I'm going to be working over these 3 double crochets and these 3 double crochets, and what I'm going to do is double crochet all 6 of them together, kind of like we did before. So with that chain 3 on my hook, I'm going to go into the first double crochet, drop a loop, and go through the first 2, and I'm going to do that over these first 3 double crochets. And remember, there'll be a chain 1 here. You skip that, and then we're going to go to these next 3 double crochets. You'll have 7 loops that remain on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 7, just like before. Pull it tight. Now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's what we're going to kind of repeat. And I know it's similar to the row before, but it is just a little bit different. So again, I'm going to do my double crochet 6 together over these 3 double crochets and these 3 double crochets. Remember, we don't do anything with that chain 1 or that single crochet. We skip that. Go to these 3 over here. Yarn over, go through all 7. Pull it kind of tight, and then chain 7. Like that. And then we're going to repeat that to the end. So we're going to go again, double crochet over these next 6 stitches here, or double crochet them together. It's actually, it looks kind of like a hard stitch, but once you get to going, It's not hard at all. That. Chain 7. Okay, and then I'm going to repeat this all the way to the end of row 5. Okay, I'm coming to the end of row 5, and I'm going to go ahead. I did my chain 7. I'm going to go ahead and do my double crochet 6 together over these next 6 double crochets. Yarn over, go through all 7 loops. Now instead of chain of 7, since we're on the end, we're going to chain 3, because in the beginning, remember, we started by chaining 3. So we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet into the top of this double crochet, and that'll end row 5, and that's what it looks like. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these now. And then for row 5. Now for row 6, what we're going to do is chain 1, turn our work. We're going to go right back into that same single crochet and single crochet into it. Okay, and now we're just going to skip this chain right here, and we're going to work in this spot where we double crochet the 6 together, so right here, just like before, and we're going to work 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and go back in and work 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, just like that. Now what we have to do is single crochet this chain down. So we're going to go single crochet into this chain 1 space from the previous row. So go right into this chain 1 space, make sure you get that chain in it too, just like we did before, and single crochet, just like that. Now that chain's locked down, and we're just going to repeat this now. So now we're going to jump over here. I'm sorry about the dark yarn, where we did 6 together. This little spot right here where they're all connected, we're going to work our 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 more double crochets, all into that same spot. And now we're going to single crochet this chain down by going into this chain space from the previous row. Go right through it, get that chain in there, and single crochet it down. And we're going to repeat. So this next single crochet 6 or double crochet 6 together, right, this little hole right here where they're all connected, we do our 3 doubles, chain 1, and 3 more doubles. Then we're going to single crochet this chain down by single crocheting through this chain 1 space from the previous round, just like that. Now I'm going to repeat that until I get to the end of row 6, and this is what it's starting to look like. Okay, when you make it to the end of row 6, I just did 3 doubles, chain 1, 3 doubles in this where we double crocheted 6 together. Now there's this chain 3 space. We're just going to skip that, and we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet into the top of this last single crochet, and that'll end round 6. And I'm going to change colors now. From now on, it's just a repeat of rows 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's just a 4 row repeat. So if you need to rewind me to see what you need to do next, you can. So right now I'm getting ready to start row 7, but actually it is just a repeat of row 3. So like I said, if you need to rewind me to see how to do that, it's just repeating rows. It's a 4-row repeat, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then you just switch colors. You'll start to make these circles. Okay, I'm coming to the end of my 29th row. We're gonna have 30 rows total, and this is what it starts to look like. It does look a little bit longer than it does wider, but that's fine. Don't worry about that. Well, what I like to do is just kind of give it a little bit of a stretch width-wise. Now, on my 29th row, I just ended it like normal. Now, for the 30th row, we are going to chain 1 and turn. Now, this is how we're going to end it. We are going to single crochet back into the same stitch, and then the chain 3 that's here, we're going to put 3 single crochets through that chain 3. It's right through it. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet right here into the top of this double crochet 6 together. And now there's this chain 7. We're going to put 3 single crochets through the chain. So 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to put the 4th one is going to go right down here into that chain 1 space from the previous round, and it's going to connect or lock that chain down just like we were doing before, like that. And then we're going to go in that same chain and we're going to put 3 more single crochets. So it was a total of 7 through that chain 7, but the 4th one went down there and locked that down. Now 1 single crochet right there in the top of the double crochet 6 together, and then again right here we're going to do 7 single crochets around this chain, but the 4th one is going to go down and lock it. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now the 4th one, I'm just going to take it and go right down into this chain 1 space and single crochet, and then I'm going to do 3 more single crochets through that chain. 1, 2, 3, and now 1 right here in the top of the double crochet 6 together, and I'm just going to repeat this to the end of the row, to the end of row 30. Okay, I'm coming to the end, and I got this chain 3 at the end, so I'm just going to go ahead and put 1 single crochet, or 3 single crochets through that chain 3, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to put 1 right here into the top of this beginning single crochet, and then I'm going to tie that off, and that is going to be all the rows that I do for now. Now, we need to go around it with a row and clean I'm going to go around it with a row of half double crochet and clean it all up. But first I have to hide all these tails. If you look at it, you can see, you can choose either side that you'd like to be your right side. There's this side right here. I prefer this side myself. So this is what I consider my right side. But if you look, you can see the difference in the stitches. But I don't know, either way, it's your own preference. But I'm going to go ahead and hide all them tails, and then I'll show you how to go around it, and then we'll get it sewed together. Okay, I got all my tails hidden. Now with the right side of your work facing you, whichever side you want to be the right side, I'm going to start right up here in the corner, kind of where we left off. So this is the side that I sewed my tails in, and this was the clean side. So I'm going to start right up here. Now you want to choose the color. I'm going to use the middle, any color you want to go around the edge. I'm going to use my middle color, and that's what I'm going to sew them up with too. So bring your piece up here, and you just want to start into that first single crochet there that we ended in. Chain 1. Now you want to half double crochet into that spot. Now here's the tricky part. We need to evenly space out half double crochets all the way down. And you're not going to really be able to tell where they go, as you can see, because we're working in doubles, we're working in singles, and it's going to be really hard. But you need to get, if you can try to make it the same on both sides, that would be awesome, but it's probably going to be pretty much impossible. But you need to get anywhere between maybe 54 to 56 stitches down this side. That's what you need to do. So I'm just going to show you how I kind of just go through them. So that was one in the corner. And then here's two. I kind of just space them out, kind of wiggle through the stitches. Three. Like there's a double crochet, I'll kind of wiggle through that. And four. And here's another double crochet, kind of wiggle through it. Five. And here's a single crochet, see that? So I'll just go right through that, and that'll be 6. And then the next single crochet, it's so hard. I'll probably go right here, and that'll be 7. And then these dark areas are double crochets, so I'll probably go right here to be 8. But you get the idea. Just kind of evenly spacing out my half doubles. There's 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I'll look. If it looks like there's one that's a lot farther apart than the others, then I'll take it out. I'll go back and take it out and put another one closer to it. But so far it looks okay. So I'm going to keep going down like this until I get to this end over here. Okay, I made it to the end there in my first row, and I had to take it out like 3 times. But I actually got 52 stitches. Now, yours is probably not going to be the same. 52 is fine, 53 is fine. Anywhere, I guess, from 52, 54, just something like that. Even if you get, you know, something like that. It doesn't have to be exact. But it needs to be right around those numbers, because it's impossible to tell where the stitches where the stitches go. So you just kind of evenly space them, and there's probably no way your number is going to be the same as mine. But once you make it up here, I got 52 counting this first one in the corner here. I want to go ahead and put 2 more half doubles in that same corner for a total of 3 half double crochets in that corner. And now I'm going to continue working around this top. Now you'll be able to see where the stitches go. It'll be a lot easier. It's just some long sides. It's hard to see where they go. But now I'm going to work putting 1 half double in each one of these stitches here across the top until I get to the next corner. Just like this. It's a lot easier to see the stitches now. Okay, I've made it across the top, and now I'm going to go down this side again. And it's going to be hard, but we want to try to get the same amount of stitches that we had on the other side. So whatever you had. I had 52. I'm going to try to get 52 across here. If I get somewhere close, though, I'll be happy. But what you want to do in this last corner over here is put 3 half doubles in the corner. Like that. And then you can start trying to get the same amount of stitches you had on the other side. They don't have to be exact, but if as close as you can get it is fine. So just kind of work the same way you did down the other side, just spacing them out. hard, especially since I tied in a bunch of tails over here, so now it's kind of, but you'll get it. So I'm just going to continue working down this side until I get down to the other corner. Okay, I made it down my other long side there, and I almost had the same. I think I ended up with 54. Last time was 52, so it was close enough for me. So now what I'm going to do once I get to the top here is put 3 single crochets into the corner. So every corner is going to get 3 single crochets. And now I'm just going to continue working 1 single crochet in every stitch across this top part up here. You'll be able to see the stitches really well, so that shouldn't be hard. We're going to do this until we get to the end there. Just like that. Okay, when you make it all the way back over here to where you started, remember we started with 1 half double crochet in that stitch. We're going to go ahead and put 2 more in it. That way there'll be 3 half doubles into that corner. And now I'm going to end with the slip stitch into that first half double crochet and tie it off. Now I'm going to tie with a really long tail because I'm going to use a yarn needle to sew this together. If you want to use a slip stitch, you can do that too. Okay, but you want to make 2 pieces exactly the same, and I kind of pull the give it a stretch on the shorter sides like that. Now I'm gonna go grab my other piece real quick, line them up here. Remember, the hardest part is getting that, I think, as those sides together. I think that's getting them equal. And they're not going to be completely equal, but man, even getting them halfway equal is kind of hard, but okay. Okay, now what we want to do is put our right sides facing, like this is the right side, so it's going to be facing bottom. This is the wrong side. And now I'm going to line up the right side on this one and face the right side to the top like that. So right side, flip it over, right side, wrong sides are on the inside now. So now what I'm going to do is sew it up with my yarn needle. And remember, you can use slip stitch or single crochet or however you want to do it, but let me move my camera a bit. This is how I usually do it. I just kind of take it and line up my stitches with my long tail I left and start sewing it up. Now remember, your stitches, unless you got the exact same number of stitches on both pieces on these long sides, they're not going to line up, and that is perfectly fine. What I usually do to watch that is I just kind of watch the rows. Like here's a dark row and here's I kind of keep track and try to keep them kind of lined up a bit. So if I have to put an extra stitch in when I'm sewing it together in one of them, that's what I'll do. Now I'm not sewing over and over like a whip stitch. I'm going back and forth. Just don't fret over it not lining up, because it's not going to. Unless you're like you did get it exactly. I mean that was possible, but I sure didn't do it. It's really hard. It was really hard telling where the stitches went on the ends of them of these stitches. So I kind of just try to keep the colors lined up like that, and then I go like this. And then I'll look again and make sure my next row color is kind of lining up. My dark here, get them to where they're going to line up like that. Sew it together. And if it looks like there's like, I can kind of look at it and see how this one, it looks like maybe there's an extra stitch on that side. See how when I'm holding them together, I got the darks lined up exactly where they're supposed to be. This one's piece is straight. This one looks like it's bowed up. It looks like there might be an extra stitch on that side. So what I'll do is I'll just go through one of the stitches on this side twice to make up for it. So I'll go through here into here, and then I'll go through the next one, but then I'll go through the same one I just went through, and that'll make up for that extra stitch that looked to me like it had. And then I'll continue going, doing the same thing, matching up my stitches and my colors. So now I got that dark color done. I'm going to try to match up these colors here. So I'll look and hold them up, and they look pretty good. So I'll just keep going. That's what I'm saying. You might have to go through the same stitch twice on one side to make up for there maybe not being a less stitch on the other side. I hope that makes sense. That's why I said in the beginning that this was more geared towards a more, it's not really beginner friendly probably. Geared more towards the upper intermediate to advanced probably. Just so you can get it lined up right, and you probably kind of understand what I'm saying. I'm lining up the colors of how you might have to go through the same stitch twice to make it even, and that's not a big deal. It's not going to make any difference. And if you look at my piece again, how I have it lined up, it looks like maybe there's an extra stitch on this side, and there probably is. So what I'm going to do to correct it, I'll show you. I'm going to go through like this. I'm going to go to the next stitch, or I'm going to go through the stitch into the next stitch, and then I'm going to go through this stitch and this same stitch again, and that's going to make it, that's going to correct it like that. That's what I do anyways, to make it kind of look even anyways, because I know I don't have the same number of stitches on both sides. I already know, I counted them. And I didn't worry about it because I knew that I could correct it doing this when I was sewing it up, and no one would even notice. So I'm going to try to line up my next colors here. And it looks to me like there's more stitches on this side again. So to correct it, let me do a couple and get over there to where it looks like it's bowed out over here a little bit. I'm going to go through the stitch like that, and then I'm going to go to the next stitch, but I'm going to go through the same stitch that I just went through last time. Hope that's making sense. And that's going to kind of correct it. And if you have to do it 2 times in a row, do it 2 times in a row, just to make it where things stay lined up and it don't really get too bowed out too much. So anyways, I'm going to quit talking, because I know you probably already understood everything that I'm saying. I'm going to keep sewing around until I'm going to sew 3 sides and then part of another side. I'm going to leave enough room in there where I can shove my insert in there. So I'm going to keep sewing around, and I'll meet you when I get about a quarter away, halfway sewed up my 4th side. Okay, I went around 3 sides. Now I'm going to take my insert and put it in here, the top part here. I know you probably can't see it, but just kind of shove it in there to where it goes down to the bottom. Should be plenty of room for it. So I made it a little bit longer. There we go. That way there was plenty of room to sew it up. Now, once you get your insert in there, what you want to do to make sure it's all straight and in there straight is just take your yarn and finish sewing up the top. So we're set. So I'm going to get a new piece of yarn here. And I'll just continue sewing this shut. I'm sorry that it's hard to see the same way we were sewing it together. Just doing the same thing. Matching up my stitches. Until she's sewed together. That way the pillow won't slide out. So I'm going to continue the same thing we were doing. Now that we got our insert in there, I'm just going to sew her up until we get back to where we started, and should be just about finished. Okay, once you get it all sewed up, all your tails hidden, it is done. That is all there is to it. Here's mine, all sewed up down all the sides. I'll probably put mine on my couch. That's it. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. If you do hit the subscribe button, don't forget to hit that little bell at the top so you'll get all the notifications every time I put a video on. And if you make this or anything else, I'd really like to see a picture of it. You can post a picture on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page. I'll put a link to that below in the description box. I'll also put a link below to my Bagoday Crochet chat page where you're welcome to come on and talk with everybody. There's a community of people there. You can just openly discuss anything crochet. So any questions or anything, everybody's there to help. So that's it. And until next time, have a good day.